everyone and welcome. It's Shanna. Now we're back again with the Crafty Advent Calendar, and I can't believe we opened 4 yesterday and we're opening 5 today, and we're already on the 5th day. So it looks like we've got some floral elements in here. It looks like some stems and some leaves and a couple of different, maybe 3 different floral elements that we're going to be working with. And so we'll just get our dies out, take a look at them, and we're going to get to creating with them. So I'm going to just bring in this little piece of black paper to just throw these dies down on so you can get a better look at it. Going to open up the little package and get them all laid out on here. We've got some floral stems, some floral heads, some bigger flowers, a medium size, and then smaller buds, and we're just going to get to creating with them. And I did a whole bunch of die cutting. I used scraps. These Advent calendars are fantastic for your scraps because they're, normally little bitty dies, and so you can just use your scraps. I had some cranberry, and I had some, I don't know if that's Bellini, and I have some vellum, and I'm doing some of the layering. I basically rotated the 2 colors. I just die cut everything out of the same 2 colors. And then I die cut that back layer out of the vellum. And I did the lighter florals with the vellum on the backs of them. And we're getting our stems laid down on here. And I'm doing a whole bunch, and it's pretty repetitive, so I've sped it up. And I've created some stems for not only the buds, but also the kind of medium-sized flowers. Now these buds have a tiny little like stamen that's on the top of them, and that's what I'm gluing on right now to the buds. And they just kind of attach to the top of the bloom. And we're gonna have, our different colors. Now you've got 3 layers for this floral here. You've got like just a solid circle piece, and then you've got an etched piece that goes on top of it. If you poke the middle of it out, you can see that solid piece behind it. And it just depends on how you want to layer. And so I've done several of all of these. I'm going to get a little bit carried away on this card, and we're going to have a whole bunch of floral elements on it. But I think it does come together pretty, so I hope you'll watch till the end, and you'll see exactly what I create. So I'm just tucking some of these leaves in behind the floral elements, and I think we've got everything ready to go. I've slowed things down. I'm bringing in the Posy and Dots 3D embossing folder, and this is an embossing folder from Spellbinders that has 2 different designs on it, and you can lay your panel either on the top portion and get the posies, or on the bottom portion and get the polka dot. And I chose to put it on the bottom, and you want to go clear to the edge on that because it will not fill up your A2 size panel. It's just maybe 1 row or 2 rows shy of it, and so I want to get clear to the edge so we kind of have an even border around it. But anyway, you just use your A and your D plate, run it through your Platinum 6, and you've got a polka dot panel for your base layer. And I guess I didn't show a very good image of it, but you can see we've got some pretty good embossed detail on there. And I've just got a A2 size card base. I'm going to lay it on, and we'll get it glued down. And I'm bringing in my bells and bows stitched set, and I die cut out. You can see the white piece, and I don't know if that's Bellini or Tutu or whatever color it is, but I use that die set, and I'm just going to layer this up. We've got a nice little scalloped panel, and then we've got 2 stitched panels that we're going to layer up. I'm going to layer these 2 together. We'll get the scalloped panel laid down, and then we'll pop this panel up with some foam and just create a little bit of dimension. So we've got some nice little layers, and I'm basically just bringing back in the colors that I've used for my floral elements. And as you can see, I've got a lot of floral elements assembled there, and so we're gonna kind of crowd up. Now I couldn't decide if I wanted to use the kind of the peachy pink bow or the white one, and I put some pink ink on that bow just to add a little bit of dimension to it. So that's why the color looks slightly different than the panel that we're looking at. I did die cut them all out of the same color. And I did bring in a white one thinking, I might want white instead, but I'll wind up using the peach one. And we're just going to get this laid down on there, getting any die cut hairs off of there, any little bits of glue. And I'm going to get this laid down straight on there. And we've got the beginnings of a card. So I'm going to fool around with these florals and kind of cluster them and try to figure out how I think I'm going to do it. And then I'll go in a completely different direction when I start gluing them down. But right now I'm just trying to figure out how can I put all of these together and get as much as possible on this card. And so I'm just fumbling around, and I'll start tucking things in different spots. And then we will go in a completely different direction. So I'll allow myself a little playtime before we decide to glue these things down. And I just left this in. It's kind of the thought process, just trying to figure out what am I doing with all this? How am I going to make all this work? And just kind of eyeballing it. This is where I'm like, okay, let's just get this stuff off of here and just come up with a plan. So I'm just going to pull it all off, and then we're just going to start laying things down on here. I'll start moving it around, and then I will just start slapping some glue down on there. I wanted to use all of them, and I wasn't thinking that I actually, can use whatever's left on the storage envelope. And I was just thinking, let's get all this laid down on here. So I'll just start. I decided to kind of fill up the whole right side of the panel with the floral elements and just kind of layer them that way. Instead of like a bouquet style, we're just going to kind of stack these. And it is a different look. I don't think I've done one like this before. It's kind of different and unusual, but I thought, let's just do it and see what we can come up with. So I'll slap some glue down on there, and we'll start getting them arranged. Cleaned off that tip, and then I had to clean my fingers off, get the glue off of there. So I'm just going to kind of go, cranberry and then peach and then cranberry and peach. I'm going to bring in some foam, and we'll use it to kind of add some dimension as we're stacking these. And I'm just going to layer them up. Just using my tweezers to hold them so I can kind of position them. I decided I wanted to cut that stem off because I don't want to see it below my flower there in the way that I'm going to position it. So I just cut it off. And then we're going to put some foam tape on here. And we'll get it laid down on there if I can get that backer strip removed from it. I'm having a heck of a time. So I may have mentioned that my mom had fallen the other day and we had to take her to the ER. Today I had to take her to a doctor's appointment, not the one for her heel. Or for her foot. I'll have to do that again next week. But today she had a regularly scheduled appointment, so I had to get her out and do that. And they'd been so cooped up in the house with all the snow that we've had and stuff, and that my dad decided that he was just going to ride along with us as well, just so he could get out of the house. So we made a little adventure of it and went over to the doctor's office, and I was able to pull up and right up underneath the awning, and they were able to get a wheelchair out so that she didn't have to try and walk clear across that building to get to her doctor's office, which was on the 4th floor, so we had to take an elevator. But anyway, it's real convenient because you can pull up underneath the awning, and they've got a guy out there that's watching for you, and he just grabs a wheelchair and just runs out and gets them, and so that was really convenient. Anyway, but we got her in and out, and her appointment that she had went really well. She's really bad asthmatic, and they had put her on some medicine recently, and it has dramatically improved her ability to breathe. And they were giddy at the doctor's office. They were so happy at how much improved she was. And he had previously told her that if she would, kind of take his trust his advice, that he was going to get her in great shape, and he certainly has. So we're real pleased with that. Anyway, so I am tucking all of this stuff in there. I actually kind of did this in parts, started doing part of it, then got interrupted, and then got back to it. So we're getting it finished up and getting the voiceover done. so that we can get it loaded and ready to go. I'm liking how it's coming together. It's, like I said, it's not a design that I had done before or considered before, but I think it's coming together. And we're making, we're able to use a lot of, die cut pieces. I thought about putting the bow down there, and as I'm looking at it, I do kind of like it there, but I actually will wind up putting it in the upper corner there and kind of filling in the space and just letting that stem hang out there. I am going to tuck some more leaves in. I've got several leaves, and I thought, well, I could fill in some of these little white spaces and tuck in a few more leaves since I've got them already die cut out. So I'll just put some glue and just tuck them here and there and see if we can make them look right. I hope you guys are enjoying my Advent calendar videos, and that if you got the calendar that you're having a ball working with it. I just love it. This is my 3rd year getting it, and it's just such a joy to have it every day, and December, just to have a little gift and have a new little toy to play with. It's just really fun. And I've got some good quality content for my channel, and I don't have to think, what am I going to work with today? I know what I'm going to work with. I'm going to open up a little box. I'm going to take a peek and see what we've got, and we're going to put a card together. Super, super fun. So I'm just going to get that out of the way. Now, for some reason or another, I didn't get it, but I did open it up, and I took that thank you so much from day 2, and I stamped it on the inside of this card. It's going to be a thank you card, and we're just going to get our little envelope ready. I'm going to assemble another one of these large flowers and get the other bits and pieces together. We're going to lay it down on our storage folder, our storage envelope, and we're going to have a pretty little envelope as well. So I'll get my leaf down on there. And I've got this flower already assembled with a leaf on it. I think I'm going to tuck I'm going to put the stem with the bud on it. And my glue, I didn't get enough glue on there. Going to give it a good pinch. And then we'll get this bud laid on here. And it's got the little, I think it's called a stamen on it. I've already attached it. And I'm going to try to glue these 2 little green pieces on here. And it's actually better if you just put the floral down and then lay the leaves beside it and put glue on the back of them. And I will wind up doing that because this is not going to be successful. And this is where I'm like, okay, it's not working. So we're going to take our big flower and we're just going to get it laid down on our storage sleeve here, the little envelope. It looks really pretty on that craft cardstock too. I think it pops off of there. And we'll get our little bud. Wiping some of that glue off. I saw Gina K now has a matte glue that dries matte, and so it doesn't add a sheen if you have a little glue mess up, and I have got to get some of that because I'm a messy gluer. So I'm going to have to pick up some of that new Gina K glue so that I won't have to worry about having a shiny spot where the glue was that I wiped off. So we'll give that a press. We're going to bring in this other flower. We're just going to tuck it down here in the corner. And we've got plenty of room left for our number 5. And I'm just using a green one. And we're going to get it laid down on there. And we have got our storage solution again. So I put my dies back in the little plastic sleeve that they came in. I'm going to write 2025 on here. And I'm going to write 7 PCS pieces on here. We'll tuck our package in there. I'm going to fold it over. I'm going to slap some mint tape on there. We'll hole punch it, add it to our ring, and we are good to go. And so far 5 is fitting very nicely on the ring. I think I can get more on there. I'm wondering if I can get maybe 7 on there. So we'll tape that down. I'm going to grab my hole punch. Nothing fancy, just a regular hole punch. We'll get our ring. We've got our 4 other ones on there. And I'm just going to open this up. My stamp that I used, I need to get it put back in its container. That was the thank you so much that I put on the inside of the card. We'll open up this ring and we'll get day 5 on there. And that'll finish up our project. So there we go. And they're fitting on there nicely. So there we go. I'm just going to clean up my mess. And I have taken a picture just so you can get a close-up of it. I think it turned out nice. I hope you like it. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.